from the first part of our film processing system, we have mentioned there the automatic processor and the daylight processing system as well. But did you know that before the introduction of an automatic processor, meron tayong tinatawag na manual processing system. So, manual processing system, it is where gumagamit tayo ng processing tank. So, kung naaalala, kapag bumalik tayo sa itsura ng ating laboratory sa school, may nakikita tayong processing tank. Okay, so processing tank usually contains one master tank kung saan nagko-contain siya ng water. And inside our master tank, there are two insert tanks that will be containing our developer solution and fixer solution. Okay? So, kapag manual processing, usually the form of the chemicals used are in powder form. So, nagtitimpla pa tayo ng solution ng chemicals kapag manual processing. So, the chemicals that are used to process films are designed to penetrate an emulsion and can cause an effect. Okay? So, kapag ang isang radiographer, ang isang rad tech ay nagtimpla ng solution, ano yung mga dapat gawin? Siyempre, the radiographer should wear proper mask to prevent inhalation of chemical fumes that can cause an effect to a human. And then, he or she should wear nitrile gloves para maiwasan ng allergic reactions kapag napadaw-daw or napalaga yung kamay sa ating solution. And also, he or she should wear a protective glass to prevent splashes of chemical solutions sa eyes ng ating rad tech. Okay, so sabi ko nga kanina, our chemicals used for processing is sometimes or usually in a form of powder. So, ang film ba, pag i-develop natin, isasawsaw mo lang ba siya sa powder? Syempre, hindi. We have to mix our solutions with the use of a solvent. So, ano ba yung solvent? Solvent is a liquid into which various solids and powders can be dissolved. So, the chemical in powder form should be dissolved in our universal solvent, which is the water. Okay, so in manual processing, we have stages of the film processing. First, we have the wetting stage. So, sa wetting stage, it is where we have to dip our film into a water para mag-swell up yung emulsion. Bakit kailangan ipa-swell up yung emulsion? So that our chemical components can attack directly to our silver halide crystals para magkaroon ng interaction towards our silver halide crystals. Sa manual processing lang, may wetting stage. Kay automatic processor, this stage is omitted. Bakit? Because the wetting is already included into the developing stage. Okay? So ako, personally wala kaming wetting stage na. Direct ko na siyang inilalagay sa developer solution kapag nagpa-process. Usually, that is the most common practice na nowadays sa may mga manual processor. Next to the wetting stage is the developing. So, dito kay developing, ito na yung pag-convert ng ating latent image towards to a manifest image. Siya na yung bahalang mag-convert ng latent image para maging visible na yung image. Maging visible na yung nasa radiograph natin. After developing, meron tayong stage na tinatawag na stop bath. So, stop bath, usually it contains acetic acid. So, yung stop bath na yon, it will neutralizes the developer para ma-stop yung developing process na naiwan ng chemicals from the developer. So, sometimes wala na ring stop bath na tinatawag because it is already incorporated into our fixing stage. Kung natatandaan sa ating assignment, tinanong ko kayo kung ano yung mga chemical components for our developer and fixer. And our fixer has already acetic acid as an acidifier. Tama? So that acetic acid will help to stop the developing process galing sa ating developer solution. So, si fixing stage, ang ginagawa niya lang is it stops the developing solution or the developing process, and it also permanents our radiograph. It also hardens our emulsion para maiwasan na magkaroon ng scratches yung film or para maiwasan na masira yung ating image na nasa film. So, after fixing, we have to wash our radiograph or our radiographic film. Why? Because there are certain components of a fixer na kapag naiwan sa radiograph, it could add up as an artifact. And that is called a hyporetention artifact. So, kay hyporetention artifact, naiiwan yung isang chemical from our fixer. And ang mangyayari, it will look like a stain on a radiograph. And that stain, ang color niya is parang kalawang, parang rusty, parang yellow. So, it is important to wash our film after fixing para mahugasan itong chemical na ito. And yung chemical na yon, sasabihin ko sa inyo on the later part of this video. So, kailangan ng adequate washing para maiwasan si hyporetention artifact. So, after washing the film, it is ready for drying. Okay? So, drying, after nun, it is ready to read by our radiologist. Okay. So, development of visual image or the development of the manifest image. So, without interaction, there is no development. Ang ating developer will produce electrons for the reduction of silver halide crystals. Kung naaalala, sa ating latent image formation, di ba nakakabuo tayo ng silver ion sa sensitivity spec. So, ang ginagawa ni developer solution, pumapasok siya sa ating mga latent image center or latent image or sensitivity spec na nagko-contain ng silver ion pairs. So, si developer, magpo-produce siya ng electrons na magbi-build up ng black metallic silver or magbi-build up ng metallic silver sa ating silver halide crystals. So, si developer, meron tayong tinatawag na redox or U-group. So, by giving up electrons, the developer is oxidized. By gaining electrons, our silver halide is reduced. The silver halide is reduced into a metallic silver once na meron siyang electron. Once na may mag-add na electron sa ating silver halide crystals. Okay? So, developer converts our latent image to visible image. So, this amplifies the amount of metallic silver on the film by increasing the number of silver. Kasi nag-add up pa siya ng electron. Tama? So, to reduce the exposed silver halide crystal into metallic silver, andyan ang ating developer. Okay? So, sa ating developer, there are chemicals na nagko-contain inside of it. First, we have the reducing agent or the developing agent. Ano bang ginagawa nitong reducing agent na to? Or yung tinatawag nating developing agent? This reduces the exposed silver bromide crystals into black metallic silver. Siya yung nagbibigay ng electron para maging black metallic silver ang ating exposed silver bromide crystals. So, for our reducing agents, meron tayong 3 primary chemicals na makikita. First, we have hydroquinone. Next is phenidone. Next is methyl. So, dun muna tayo kay hydroquinone. Okay. So, hydroquinone is the principal component. Okay, hydroquinone is the principal component of our developer. This produces black tones slowly. Okay. Our hydroquinone, it is responsible for producing black tones slowly. And then, it is the contrast indicator. And it is also sensitive to light and temperature. Again, our hydroquinone is the principal component of our developer and produces the black tones slowly. So the contrast will be built up slowly. Therefore, our hydroquinone is contrast indicator. And also, it is sensitive to light and temperature. Next chemical for our reducing agent is the phenidone. Okay, so phenidone is the secondary constituent of our developer. This produces shades of gray rapidly, and it builds up the detail quickly in the first half of developing process. If our hydroquinone is the contrast indicator, our phenidone is the speed indicator. Okay, so this chemical of our reducing agent rapidly reduces our silver halide crystals. So, ano ba naman si methyl? What is methyl? The same with phenidone. Okay? Methyl is the same with phenidone, but it is used for manual processing. Phenidone usually is used for automatic processor, and this is in form of liquid. Our methyl is used for manual processing and in form of powder. So, may difference pa din kay phenidone and methyl even though the same sila ng ginagawa. Our phenidone has a 5 to 10 times developing power compared with methyl. Again, phenidone has 5 to 10 times developing power compared to methyl. As I've said earlier, phenidone is usually used in automatic processor and in a form of liquid, and methyl is used for a manual processor in form of powder. Baka sa ibang exam, may makita pa kayo na elon, or sa choices, may makita kayong elon. Baka may magtanong ng it is responsible or it indicates speed in developer at walang methyl or phenidone sa choices pero may elon. Ito ay the same lang with methyl. Okay? Methyl or elon is used for manual processor. Ang kanyang trabaho is the same as phenidone. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na superadditivity or synergism. Okay, superadditivity or synergism. It is where the activity of each individual component of reducing agent in the solution is less than the activity when two components are combined. Or in short, 2 is better than 1. Ganan si superadditivity. Pinagsasama ang ating hydroquinone and phenidone para mas maganda yung magiging kakalabasan ng activity compared sa mag-isa lang sila. So, ang superadditivity or synergism ng ating manual processing, pinagsama ang ating methyl and hydroquinone components. Or ito yung tinatawag na MQ developer. MQ developer is used for manual processing. Okay? So, kung walang melon or walang methyl hydroquinone, pwede rin siya maging elon hydroquinone developer. Next is the PQ developer. PQ developer is used for automatic processing and it has a 15 times more superadditivity compared to MQ developer combination. Again, our PQ developer has a 15 times more superadditivity than our MQ developer combination. Okay? So, sa ating reducing agents, meron tayong tinatawag na superadditivity and synergism. Pinagko-combine si hydroquinone kay phenidone or kay methyl. Pero PQ developer has 15 times more superadditivity than our MQ developer combination. Next is the activator, which is our sodium carbonate. So the sodium carbonate helps to swell our gelatin. And this chemical also maintains the alkalinity and controls the pH of our developer solution. The developer solution is an alkali solution. Therefore, its pH level is 10 to 11. Again, our developer solution is an alkali solution. So, the alkali's purpose is to penetrate the protective coating and to allow the reducing agent to reduce the silver bromide to black metallic silver. Okay? So, that is the goal or that is the role of our sodium carbonate. It also maintains the pH value of the solution and it stimulates uniform development. Okay, so that is our sodium carbonate. It acts as an activator or accelerator as well as alkalinizer and buffering agent. Next is our restrainer. So the restrainer protects unexposed crystals from chemical attack. So this decreases activity of our developing agent. So si restrainer, siya yung unang magte-take effect to reduce developing activity. So siya yung unang gagawa ng step sa loob ng ating developer solution para mapigilan niya na mai-develop ni reducing agent yung ating unexposed na mga silver halide crystals. So, ang ating chemical for restrainer is the potassium bromide. Okay? So, bromide controls the activity of our reducing agents. Again, restrainer is our starter solution. Siya yung una nagagalaw bago si reducing agent. Pipigilan niya, iko-control niya yung activity ng ating reducing agent para mapigilan niya na ma-reduce yung mga unexposed silver halide crystals. So, our bromide is not or cannot restrain our phenidone. Again, our bromide cannot restrain our phenidone. Why? Or how? Paano mag-a-act ang ating restrainer kung hindi makokontrol si phenidone? Therefore, for a PQ developer, yung may phenidone na developer, meron siyang sariling restrainer na ini-add, which is the benzothiazole. Benzothiazole is the organic restrainer which is added to PQ developer, since bromide cannot restrain our phenidone. And the bromide is responsible to control the activity of our reducing agent. Okay? So again, benzothiazole, the organic restrainer that is added to PQ developer, since our bromide cannot restrain our phenidone. So kapag MQ developer yung gamit, ang gagamitin natin na restrainer ay potassium bromide. Si benzothiazole is just for PQ developer. Okay? So now let's proceed to the preservative. Our preservative or yung tinatawag na SICON. Preservative or SICON. It controls the oxidation of our developer and maintains balance among the developer components. This prevents rapid oxidation of the agents. Since, di ba nga, ang ating developer, it gives or it produces electrons para ma-reduce ang ating silver halide crystals into black metallic silver. And kapag nag-give siya ng electrons, nagiging or na-oxidize ang ating developer solution. That's why we have preservative, to prevent rapid oxidation of our reducing agent. So this reacts with quinone. Okay. Preservative reacts with quinone, which is a byproduct of hydroquinone. Quinone is a dye. Okay? So this is capable of staining the film and form a colorless compound called hydroquinone monosulfate. Okay. So our preservative reacts with the quinone, which is a byproduct of hydroquinone, which is a dye, and capable of staining the film and form a colorless compound called hydroquinone. So ang ating chemical or ang ating component for preservative is called the sodium sulfite. Okay, our preservative or our sodium sulfite also acts as a stabilizer to promote the equilibrium of the chemicals. Para maging balance, since alkali ang ating developer solution, kailangan niya ng acid. Okay, para maging balance, para maging equilibrium yung state ng ating developer chemicals. Actually, kung ang developer solution ay alkali solution, merong 3 chemicals na acid. Ang isa dyan is the phenidone, next is the potassium bromide, and our hardener, which is glutaraldehyde. Those are the boric acids para maging stabilize ang ating alkali solution. Mag-promote ng equilibrium sa ating chemicals. So, ang pH level nito, ating preservative, restrainer, and hardener is 3 to 4. These are acid in our developer solution. Next to our preservative is the hardener, or yung tinatawag na tanning agents. Okay? So, ang hardener ay nakikita lang sa components ng chemicals na ginagamit for automatic processor. So, this is added to developer solution to prevent swelling of emulsion, para makontrol niya yung too much swelling of the emulsion, so that it could reduce film transportation problems and will prevent damage to the emulsion. So, yung hardener sa ating developer is just a weak or temporary hardener. Hindi pa niya totally naka-harden ang ating emulsion. It just help to prevent na ma-chip off or matanggal yung emulsion by our rollers. So, the chemical used as a hardener for our developer solution is glutaraldehyde. Again, the hardener for developer can only be seen to the chemicals used for automatic processor to prevent the chipping off the emulsion from our film. Okay. So, next we have sequestering agents. So, the sequestering agents will remove metallic impurities and stabilizes our developing agent. These prevent precipitation of the calcium sludge. Okay. So, the aluminum salts used as hardeners have a tendency to produce insoluble aluminum compounds which may precipitate and form sludge. This is to reduce formation of sludge, a boric acid is used as anti-sludging or sequestering agents. So, kung naaalala sa ating first part ng film processing system, our circulation system should have a filter para ma-filter out itong mga sludge na to. Pero in our developer solution, nagko-contain din siya ng component to control this precipitation of calcium sludge, and that is chelates. Okay, so si calcium sludge is an oily substance and precipitate of an aluminum. Saan makukuha si aluminum? Galing siya kay glutaraldehyde sa ating hardener. Okay, so para makontrol yung precipitation or ma-prevent yung precipitation of calcium sludge, we use chelates or the boric acid or salts. Pwede rin naman na gumamit ng EDTA. Or it is called as ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Aside from chelates, the EDTA or the ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid can be used as a sequestering agent, as well as the calgon or the saan ba pwede? Sodium hexametaphosphate. Okay. So, aside from chelates, the sequestering agents that could be used are the EDTA, or the ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, as well as calgon, or the sodium hexametaphosphate. Okay. So, there are also other components of our developer. And first is the solvent. So, ano ba yung pwede maging solvent ng developer solution? Walang iba kundi water, which is our universal solvent. So, for the water, ang ating kailangang bantayan dyan is the temperature. Okay? So, temperature ng ating water. Next is the anti-foaming or the anti-frothant component. It prevents bubble formation in the solution. So, this will prevent aerial and external oxidation. So, ano yung mga pwedeng gawin para maiwasan yung bubble formation? We should have a close-fitting lids to prevent an external oxidation as well as aerial oxidation, and the mixing paddle. Okay, sa mixing paddle na usually dapat gamitin based sa FDA recommendation is PVC yung material para maiwasan na magkaroon ng reaction sa ating chemicals. And also, hose should not be used. Yung hose na ginagamit natin kapag nagdidilig, kasi di ba malakas yung pressure noon. Kapag malakas yung pressure, there's a tendency na magkaroon ng bubble formation. Okay? Last is fungicides. Okay? So, fungi develop in complete darkness and moisture. So, it could be virus, bacteria, and protozoa. Ang ating developer solution ay pinapatakan minsan ng fungicides or minsan it is already a component ng ating developer solution na meron siyang fungicide para ma-prevent yung pag-form or pagde-develop ng fungi. Okay? Doon tayo kay replenisher of the developer solution. Yan. So, replenishment of developer solution. This contains more reducing agent, activator, and preservative. So, ito ay nakabukod para lang talaga mag-replenish ng developer solution. So, this is a chemical or this is a solution kung saan it will contain more reducing agent, activator, and preservative. This usually doesn't contain a restrainer unless na ang gagamitin na developer component is the PQ developer. Kasi diba sabi ko nga, PQ developer, our bromide cannot restrain the phenidone. Therefore, we have to use another restrainer, which is called the benzothiazole. Okay, so for PQ replenisher, it should contain restrainer, which is benzothiazole. Pero kung ang ginagamit naman na developer component is MQ, okay, our MQ replenisher doesn't contain restrainer. So next is the fixing stage or the fixer. So when the development is complete, the film must be treated so that the image will not fade. So sabi ko nga kanina, our film should have an archival quality kung saan kahit tumanda or kahit malipasan ang panahon ng ating radiograph, hindi mababago ang image. So this refers to the permanence of the radiograph, and the image will not deteriorate with age but remains in its original state. Okay? So, ang fixer natin has two functions. Its primary function will or should remove and dissolve and clear away the silver halide from film. And also, it is used to permanent the image. So, for the secondary function, it is used to stop the development process and to further harden the emulsion. Okay. It also serves to clear the undeveloped crystals, forming a silver complex of thiosulfate, technically called monoargento. Wait, susulat natin. Okay. Again, It serves to clear the film of the undeveloped crystals, forming a silver complex of thiosulfate, technically called the mono-argento dithiasulfuric acid. Okay? So it serves to clear the film of the undeveloped crystals, forming a silver complex of thiosulfate, technically called the mono-argento dithiasulfuric acid. Okay, let's proceed to the chemical components of our fixer. First, we have the fixing agent, or what we call the clearing agent. So this is responsible to dissolve the unexposed silver bromide crystals, thereby producing a permanent visible image. So ang ginagamit na chemical for a fixing agent is ammonium thiosulfate or sodium thiosulfate. But compared to sodium thiosulfate, our ammonium thiosulfate fixes the film more rapidly. So from the word thiosulfate, it is also called hypo. So the thio will dissolve our silver. Okay? So ito yung chemical na kapag naiwan or hindi na wash off sa ating film, it will contain or it will make our film look like rusty or magsistain siya na mukhang rust sa ating radiograph. Therefore, meron tayong pwedeng ipatak sa film kapag ganito yung kalalabasan. It is a chemical or yung tinatawag nating hypokit in which it contains acetic acid, silver nitrate, and the solvent. Pwede siyang ipatak kapag merong hyperretention yung ating radiograph. Okay? Next is the activator. Activator will provide an acid medium and will neutralizes the developer carried over on the film. So to activate the thiosulfate to enter and get the silver, we have to use an acetic acid or we have an acetic acid to activate. Okay? So the pH level of our acetic acid is 4.2 to 4.9. Next is preservative. The preservative of our fixer is the sodium sulfite. Okay? So this maintains the equilibrium of the chemical in the solution. This will prevent internal oxidation and the aerial oxidation of our fixing agent. This prevents the decomposition and precipitation of the sulfur from thiosulfate agent. Okay, so our sodium sulfite is responsible in removing the silver to thio. Okay, kaya ang ating fixer solution, minsan may bumibili nan sa mga departments, sa mga hospitals, or x-ray facilities. Dahil yung silver na nagko-contain sa ating film is yung silver na isinusuot na alahas. Okay, so meron tayong mga process on how to get that silver from a fixer solution. Okay, so next is the hardener. Kung ang ating developer contains a weak or permanent hardener called the glutaraldehyde, our fixer solution is a strong hardener. Okay, this is the major component of our fixer solution. It will raises the temperature at which the gelatin softens and prevents too much absorption of water by the gelatin. Our hardener makes the film less susceptible to physical change. Okay, so the hardener components are potassium alum, also the aluminum chloride, and the chromium alum. Okay, so these are the hardener. It could be potassium alum or aluminum chloride or chromium alum. So this is the major component of our fixer solution. So of course, fixer solution can be in a form of powder. Therefore, we need a solvent, which is water. We also have sequestering agents for our fixer, which is boric salts. So, the same lang din siya ng role dun sa ating developer solution. Our boric salts will prevent the precipitation of the calcium sludge galing sa ating aluminum. Alright? Yan. There is a hyponeutralizer is a solution used between fixing stage and the final washing cycle to decrease the washing time of the film and to prevent hyporetention. Okay? So after fixing, we have the stage of washing. So this is important to the archival quality to prevent hyporetention. This will remove the residual processing or the residual thiosulfate and silver salts from the radiograph. So as I've said, yung washing stage ay merong dapat sundin na temperature, just like sa ating developer solution. So the washing temperature should be at least less than 2.8 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Fahrenheit of our developer temperature. And for the last stage, which is drying, this is the final process. It will remove 85 to 90% moisture from the film so that it can be handled easily and stored while maintaining quality of the diagnostic image. Okay, so in an automatic processor, this consumes more electricity at about 60 to 80%. Okay. So as I've said, our developer solution is most critical or most crucial when it comes to temperature because as it increases the temperature, the activity also increases. Okay, sulat natin. So for a developer solution, as I've said, the temperature is critical or crucial. As it increases, alright, magbago tayo ng notepad. As it increases the temperature, the activity also increases, the activity of our developer solution. Therefore, the development time will be decreased. Okay? So, kapag ang ating developer solution ay oxidized na, kumbaga tumanda na siya, the activity will decrease, therefore our developing time will increase kapag oxidized or kapag mababa ang temperature ng ating developer solution. Okay? So, it's very important na every day, every morning, magkaroon tayo ng chart sa ating department to check the temperature of our solutions para alam natin kung mag-adjust ba tayo ng developing time or kung kailangan nating i-agitate yung ating developer solution para ma-maintain natin yung temperature niya. Alright? So, if you